So let's look at how to do post hoc test. I've never done this, so a friend of mine just videoed me, and so I decided to just look at it quickly. Now, what is post hoc test? When you are testing differences between means, maybe you want to find out whether the difference between two means are significant. You might use your F statistics. But when the means are more than two, you see, in that case, you will have to use an ANOVA. ANOVA does not tell us whether the difference between any of the group means is significant or not. So what you do is you do a post hoc test to be able to find out whether the difference is significant or not. And that's what we want to do. All right. So let me try and see whether if my screen is sharing. Great, it's sharing right now. So I'm going to pull up my RStudio, and then you can see I just simulated this data. Coincidentally, this work coincides with what my boss is already doing, and so I'm just going to brush this and leave this. So for the sake of time, this is what we are going to do. I just decided to come and then put something here. So let's assume that you have picked some data of like those who are into nutrition. Okay, so you want to test the effect of, let's say, a particular nutrient on the weight gain of some kind of case, or some case who are malnourished or are some kind of they are not growing well, stunted growth and whatsoever. So you're giving them the food 1 week, and then 8 weeks you come to give them the food, and then you try to measure their weight, and then you try to check the difference between the weights. That's all that we are going to check. Then this is how to be able to find out the impact of the feed on the kids. And so I decided to simulate this data as we have here. If it is not too visible, I think I should increase my go to my global options, go to my appearance, maybe I can increase to 150 to make it a little bit, and then I'll just apply, and then yeah, so this looks better. And so okay, this was something I was doing, so let me just clear that off. So I'm going to come here, and so this is the first thing I'm going to do. So these are the meals. So I just decided to call this one a meal. So under the meal, we are looking at 3 different meals that has been given. So I'm giving them as a fact test, and then 3 different meals. So I just decided to simulate the data, and so I can run that. And then for the week 1, we were giving them, we decided to check their weight, and then that was between 40 and 80. I just decided to assume that the least weight will be 40 and the maximum will be 80. And we are just picking 100 of them. So replacement true, because some might have the same weight. And then the same way with week 7. And of course, the last one, we are looking at the weight lost. So we are looking at how much weight they have lost. We could have also said weight gain, whichever way that you want. And so we decided to say that maybe it would be between 1 and then 8 kilograms. And so we decided to put that there. Now, that's all. So I decided to create a data frame out of it. And now I call that particular data frame feed impact. So now if I go here, what I'm trying to simply find out is whether this, the difference between the means. So you can see that how many meals are we talking about? We're talking about 3 different meals which have been given. And so we want to find out whether there's a significant difference between meal 1 and meal 2, meal 1 and meal 3, meal 3 and then meal 2, and then in that order. Whether there's a difference in in their means or in their averages. So like the average weight gain from meal 1 and then that of meal 2, are they difference or there are no difference, and then in that order. That's all that we want to do here. And so to be able to do that, because it's more than 2, we have to use an ANOVA. So I'll come here to just print out and then look at how the data looks like. So I just decided to print it out. There are just 100 of them, and so as you can see, they are all here. So this one, column 1, will have to be a factor, because we are looking at each of them represents something. They are actually like dummy variables. So 1 represents meal 1, that's the first diet. 2 is also another meal, and then 3 is also another meal. And then we have given to some kind of kits, and then we are now checking their weight lost over time. And so that's what we are trying to do. That's to have a glimpse of it. Now, when we come, if you we have to put the meals as a factor. So that's why I decided to check And so if we check, we can see that there are how many? There are 3 meals. So 1 represent 1, 2, and then 3. So that's why we check the levels. So the next thing is to try and have a pictorial view of how, what are these things, the differences are the same. So we decided to just plot, to use a box plot, to just look at what is it? The first variable is going to be the weight lost, which you have, if I can pull this a little bit. So this last column is the weight lost, which is integer. And then we want to plot it from here and then up to this place. So I just decided to pick, we are going to look at the impact, the feed impact. And so we are looking at the column weight loss as it is being explained by the feed, or is being explained by the meal, by different meals. So this one is like we are looking at weight loss as the dependent variable that is being explained by the meals, by the different meals. And so when we do that, we run it, we are going to have our box plots. Just decide to give it this particular color. So when you pull it up here, it's going to give you a small, so you realize that meal 1, meal 2 is 3, and then meal 3 is also here. You can check that already. What is it? The meals are not the same. The black line you are seeing here represents the average. This black line represents another average, and this one is also another average. So you can see that the averages are not the same. But this particular difference in means, are they significant or not? That is what we want to do. But this one is just to tell us, to give us a clear indication that what is it, the difference between the 3 meals, or the averages, the average, or the means between the 3 meals are not the same. So if we pair this and this, they are not the same. Pair this and this is not the same, and this and then that, they are not also the same. And that's what I'm talking about. But are the difference significant? So to be able to find out whether the difference is significant or not, is the same. So we are going to look at the weight lost and then how it is being explained. So why I'm using the tilde here is being explained by the meals. So, and then when we do that, I don't even know where I don't know where I stopped. But this is what I was doing. We're trying to just get the difference between, or maybe okay, I can just hide it here. So we're just trying to look at how to use the post hoc test in R, and then as you can see around here. So I decided to simulate a data of like different meals that has been given to some kind of kits. So there are 3 different meals. So we label one of them as 1, the next one is 2, and then 3, then in that order. So I decided to just create these dummy variables to be able to represent what I want to do. And so if I come, what I have here, let me just clean this up. So these are the meals which have been given. Maybe I should just have a little look at it here. And so I decided to create. So the first column are the meals, different meals. So one represents a particular meal, and then this is the weight that has been gained or weight lost in week 1, and this is also the weight lost in week 7. Or let me say this is the weight in week 1, and this is the weight in week 7, and then this is the average weight lost. So obviously our weight loss is the dependent variable, and we want to look at the different meals, and then how the weight loss or we are just trying to look at the differences in their means of the weight loss or the weight gain in this case we're talking of the weight lost. So among the 3 meals, so or in their combination. I know that if we are looking at the difference between 2 meals, perhaps we could use F statistics. But when the is more than 2, we have to use an ANOVA, and so that's what we're trying to look at. So, and so I have this already as 1, 2, and 3. So that's the level. So 1 represents 1 meal, 2 another, and 3 the other one. And so let's first of all have a visual impression of how their differences, what it means will look like. So we decided to just pick the weight lost as our dependent variable being explained by the meals. And so the other box plot is going to incorporate the others over there. So I just do that. And then if I pull this up, we can already have a visual impression that meal 1, meal 2, and then meal 3 do not have the same averages. What is it in either weight loss or weight gain? So you can see the average in black lines here. So it tells us, but these differences, are they significant? The difference between meal 1 and 2, and then the difference between meal 2 and 3, and that of meal 3 and then 4, are they different? Are they the differences between them, are they significant? And to be able to do that, you need to do what is called the ANOVA, and that's what ANOVA is going to do. So we run this ANOVA line, and then we just print the results. And then as you can see, the ANOVA result is actually here. So we have our residuals, we have our F value here, and then our P value, which is also here, and then in that order. But when ANOVA print these results, it may not give us an in-depth information. So what we need to do is to find out the difference in means between the 3 meals using the Turkey and or the Turkey HSD function in R. So what we simply do is we simply pick the results of the ANOVA, we pack it into results, and then we just take the Turkey HSD function and run it with the results from the ANOVA, and then we pack the results into the means. So now let's print out so now we can see the differences in the meals. Maybe I should brush this off and then run the line again so that we can have a clear view of what I'm talking about. And so when we run it again, so we can see the differences. These are the differences. So when we compare meal 1 and 2, this is the difference. The difference is actually 0.88, which is not too so. And then when we compare 1 and 3 is 0.373, and then 3 and 2 is actually minus 0.14. And so we have to find out these particular differences that we are seeing, are they significant? So we come to look at the p-value here, and then if we check through all of them, the p-value, all of them, they are not, they are all more than 0.05, and then we can see that they are not significant. The differences are not significant at all. So you see, if we had concentrated on the visual impression here, we may think that the difference between the meals are quite significant. But you see that when we decide to do the Turkey, the Turkey HSD to be able to find out, so you see what we are seeing right here. But we can go ahead and then check other things. So we can visualize what we are seeing here. We can visualize this particular means here, and then we try to see how the whole thing will look like. So to visualize it, just use the ordinary plot. I'm giving it the color red. And so we just plot the difference in the means, which we have it on top here. And so when I come to run that line, that particular line, so we're going to have, is the same thing if to those who do not have. So we can look at the differences around here. And so the difference between what is it? We have meal 3, meal 2, and then meal, what is it, meal 1 here. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. And then we can see that what is it? The difference is not all that significant. And that's what I was talking about. So this is the best way to be able to visualize it. But I'm doing this video because of one of my friends. So she got this particular resource out here, and she didn't know how to be able to get this resource out of this place to be able to pick just only the difference section. All right. So I want to show her how to be able to do that. So when you have resource like that, and you're finding it difficult, because if we look at the structure of the resource, it's actually a list. It's in the form of a list. All right. If I should look at the structure, it's a list. So to be able to get it out in a CSV format or in a tabular format, then do this way. So I'm just going to give a new variable called the means, or let me say the means differences, like this. And then that particular variable, I'm going to use this function called read.delim. So I have my read.delim here, and then when you enter here, you say I'm going to what is it? Read from a clipboard, come out of it, do this, and then you're going to have our separators is going to be just put this. That's all. Now, when you have, if you have done this, now come down to this particular. So let me pull this a little bit up. Come here and then highlight the whole of this, all that you want it, like this. All right. When you do like that, Control C, it will copy it. Now go back into this particular line and run it. So what is it? Warning. Okay, it's a warning. It's not. So now when I come, I can decide to visualize. So I can view my means underscore difference like this, and you see that it is now here in the form of what? A table. So you can see the differences are here, and then you have the lower interval and the whatsoever, and then the p-value, and then all of them are here. So you can now have this, and then you can do whatever that you wanted to do with it. So this is the easiest way to be able to copy or to get it out. I hope you've understood whatever that I was doing there. All right, so thank you. I will see you some other time. That will be the video is rather long. Plan to do it shorter, but because the internet was freaking, that is why I had to get it up to this point. Sorry for that. Thank you. The internet is too